Good morning, everyone, and I hope you've all got 2 cork blocks, 1 styrofoam block, a set of weights, a strap, and a long Theraband. And yes, and we will start in a spinal reset for a moment, and 1 block behind your head and 1 block underneath your shoulder blades, and just allow your spine to settle. So last night was a new moon in Leo. Hi, come on in. And this new moon offers us a spotlight. But it's not the kind that demands performance or perfection. It's the light that shines within us. So if we take our inspiration from Leo, Leo the lion is bold and magnetic and full of heart. And it doesn't ask for permission to take up space. It inhabits space with pride and presence. And this new moon invites us to do the same. It invites us to lead our life with intention, to speak our truth without shrinking, and to move from a place of confidence, not ego. So today, let your movement be an expression of your energy and not a reaction to anyone else's. So gently, remove the blocks from behind your head and behind your shoulders, and lay yourself out upon the mat. And just allow your spine to settle. And notice the undulation in the spine. And what I mean by that, notice how the back of your head, the back of your shoulders, and the back of your hips all rest upon the earth. And that there's this beautiful wave in your spine. Your spine is not flat. We need that undulation. And we're going to take our 1 cork block and do what we call a QL smash. QL stands for quadratus lumborum. And that's the muscle that runs between your pelvis and your rib cage. So you'll lift up in bridge and take the very corner of the block, put it right up next to your spine. As you come down on the block, that edge of the block is going to traction that soft flesh and start to pull it away from the spine. The other hip is just kind of hanging there in space, but gravity will take over and allow it to move towards the mat. As the corner of the block on the other side starts to really pull on that flesh, pulling it away from the spine. And once that free hip touches the mat, you can lift back up and maybe adjust the block higher or lower. And I'm talking 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch. And then you come back down on it again and traction away from the spine. Try that one more time as that free hip touches the mat. Maybe move the block again and traction that corner of the block, pulling that flesh outward. And then gently, as that free hip comes onto the mat, lean to that side and remove the block and lay your back on the floor and just notice the difference between one side and the other side. You may feel like you have a lot more space and width. So now we're going to take that block over to the other side, again, using the very corner of the block. Lift up, place that block between the pelvis and the bottom rib. Catch that flesh right up next to the spine and let it pull that flesh outwards as that opposite hip begins to move towards the floor. And once again, as that free hip begins to touch the floor, you can lift your hips back up, adjust the block, maybe to a different spot. And sometimes, like I said, a 1/4 inch will do just fine. And then catch that flesh again and pull it outwards. And then when that free hip touches the earth, let it rock to that side, remove your block, and lay your spine upon the mat. And just notice the extra space you have and the freedom, and drawing the knees in now and noticing, oh gosh, maybe the knees come closer to the torso. Hands on top of the knees so that you can circle them around and massage that sacral plate at the base of your spine. And then circle back around in the opposite direction. Come back to a neutral position and place both feet on the floor. Pick your right heel up from the inside. Let that right thigh externally rotate out to the side and away from your rib cage. As you begin to pump that shin straight down, make sure the sole of the foot faces the ceiling and the top of the thigh faces the mat. Let the left thigh lean to the left so you get a little bit deeper stretch. And then just hold it down. Begin to lengthen and bend that right leg and knee. So pushing that foot towards the back corner of the room. Each time pushing the heel into the hand and the hand resisting back. Lengthen the leg the best you can, and again, apply that heel. Push it more up into the hand and the hand down into the heel. Let that left thigh lean to the left. Gently bring that right ankle across on top of the left thigh. Pick the left thigh up. Thread your hands behind it and draw in. And you can do some pulses or gentle rocks here in your figure 4. Make sure that the knees and the ankles are at 90-degree angles and the feet are flexed and the toes are spread. And then gently release and put that foot on the floor, and then pick up the left heel from the inside. Let the left thigh externally rotate out to the side and begin to pump half happy baby on the left thigh. Again, make sure the sole of the foot faces the ceiling and the top of the thigh faces the mat. Let that right thigh lean to the right as you get a bit deeper stretch. Now hold that left thigh down and try to get a stretch in that inside thigh muscle. Now begin a single windshield wiper as you straighten and bend that left leg. And then lengthen the leg the best you can and apply pressure with your hand into the heel. Feel how it travels down the bone into that hip socket. At the same time, push that heel up into your hand. Gently bring that ankle across, lay it on top of your right thigh. Wrap your hands around that thigh and draw in even more. Do a gentle rock or a pulse. And then gently release and place both feet on the floor. Take hold of your long Theraband and place the band flatly over the sole of your right foot. Grab the tails of the band, one in each hand, and extend the left leg out upon the mat. Begin to rock the foot side to side by pulling on one tail and the other. And then place both tails in your right hand. Allow the right leg to fall to the right as it circles around towards the front, and you lift it back up. So out to the side, circle around, lift it back up. And out to the side, circle around, and lift it back up. Last time in this direction. And then take it in the opposite direction. Forward, out, and around, and up. Forward, out, and around, and up. Forward, out, and around, and up. And last one. And then stop with the foot facing the ceiling and the leg in the air. Take the tails of the band, one in each hand, and then bring your left foot up beside the right foot. Have them about a fist apart. So as you gently pull on the tails, use the edges of your feet to pull that band apart and come back together, and pull the band apart and back together. Just using your feet and back and apart and back. Now bring your right foot and leg down as you now have the left foot belted, and you begin to rock this foot and ankle side to side. And then come back to a neutral position. Place the belt or the band in your left hand. Let that leg go to the left, circle it around, and lift it up towards the ceiling. And out and around, and lift it up, out and around, and lift it up, and out and around, and lift it up. Now reverse it and go forward and out and around and up and forward and out and around and up and forward, out and around and up, forward, out and around and up. Bring that other foot back up again. Have the feet side by side with a little space in between. Hold the tails, one in each hand, and once again, use your edges of your feet to pull that belt apart and relax, and pull with your feet and relax, and pull with your feet and relax. One more time, pull and relax. Pull the band off of your feet. Let them come all the way down. Extend them out long upon the mat. And take your hands over your head for a nice supine Tadasana stretch. And then gently take one block. It can be a cork or a styrofoam block, and place it behind your legs and come up with power to boat without touching. Yeah, there you go. Good. And then take that out to the side, over the ceiling, out to the side and under, and side and up, and side and under. We're gonna reverse it. Go under, side, up. Oh, in the quads?
Yeah.
Yeah. Up. And last one. And then bring the block one underneath again, holding your legs. And release. Bring your blocks to the front of your mat. Bring the soles of the feet together and have a fair amount of space between your heels and your pelvis. Cup your hands around your shins and lift up and arch. Exhale and round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and round. Take hold of one of your weights and take your feet slightly wider. So mine are off of the mat, and have your weight in your hand, and you let the legs come over to the side, to the left, and you just twist and hold that weight, and then bring it around. And you're trying not to use your hands, that's why we're using the weights. And come back, and to the side, and back, and to the side, and back, nice and slow, and turn, and last one, and then come back to center, and you're gonna take your feet around behind you, and come into child's pose, as I'm gonna get the lights here for us. There we go. As you part the knees and bring the big toes together, prong your fingers gently on the mat. Not the palms, just the fingers. So forearms are not on the mat. There you go. And then inhale, round up through cat, and come forward into a lazy up dog and let your hips sway. And then push back and come into puppy pose and prong those fingers. Inhale and round through the spine and gently come forward into that lazy up dog. And one more time, come back and round and come to a neutral position. You may need to adjust your hands just a little bit. See that the hands are slightly wider than your shoulders and slightly out in front of your shoulders. That your knees are slightly behind your hip sockets. Make sure that the fingers are slightly turned outwards. Yes. Now tuck your toes and lift your hips and come into a downward facing dog. As you begin to walk your dog, very gently. And then come into a regular dog, and you may need to shorten it just a little. So you've got more like your heels on the floor. can you take your right hand and clasp your left shin? And then take and put the right hand back. Take the left hand and clasp the right shin. And come on back and come down and take a child's pose for a moment. Let your hips go towards your heels. Let your knees be slightly wider. And then inhale, come back to downward facing dog again. Mindfully placing your hands. So yes, turn them out, Sue. Yes, there you go. Now try to get those heels down a little bit. Take your right hand to your left shin. This is called twisted dog. There you go. Put it down. Let's try the other hand and touch. Try not to let your hips sway. And touch. And then do it again. Try it again. Yes. And one more time. Switch and gently release. Go ahead and come forward. Lower the knees down and come all the way down to the mat. Now lay your forearms on the mat. See that they are right. The elbows are right underneath your shoulders and the arms are in what we call Sphinx pose. Curl each inner thigh to the sky so that all 10 toes can touch the mat. Now push in and lift up, tone your core, and draw your tailbone towards your heels. Keep all of that and begin to pull your rib cage to the left. And then inhale and pull it to the right. Let's do that again. Inhale to the left and inhale to the right. So we're going to bring our right arm over and begin to bend our left knee, and then we're going to reach back, and you can reach up. Notice how I turn. I grab the foot and then I come back so I'm facing forward and bringing that foot towards the hip and the hip towards the foot. And gently release. Lay your left arm down and begin to flex that right knee. And then reach back, grab that foot, and then bring your heart back forward as you bring the foot towards the hip and the hip towards the foot. And gently release. Take and push yourself up. Now we're going to use all 3 blocks here. Get your styrofoam block and step your right foot on the block. So this is called lizard on a rock. So turn those toes more towards 2 o'clock for you. Yeah, 2 o'clock. Yeah. Good. And let that knee come out over. And then rock back and come out over and rock back and out over and rock back and forward and back. Now scoot the heel forward, bring the blocks back, lift and lengthen through your spine and hinge out over that leg. You can lift up, tone your belly, roll your right sit bone under, and hinge again. And then inhale, shift forward, put that foot onto the block, and really deep, take a deep lunge, even more. And then gently release, bring the blocks to the center, take your foot back, and move the styrofoam block over to the left. Put your left foot on the block and come into lizard on a rock this side, yes. And back and forward and back, forward and back and forward. Now really lunge. And then shift back, scoot that heel forward, bring the blocks on either side, lift and lengthen, roll that right sit bone under, and then hinge out over that block. And then inhale, come forward again. Bring the blocks to the front. Take a nice long stretch here, and then gently release. Put your blocks down, and then come into a down dog and walk your hands back. Inhale and halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale and rise up all the way, Urdhva Hastasana. Interlace the fingers and stand tall. Notice if your hips are forward, can you pull them back? Your thighs come back. And you lift up with your heart and release. Okay. Coming to the center of your mat. See that your feet are hip distance apart. Take your right hand behind you and take hold of your upper left arm. And you can have this hand right here beside your thigh. Inhale, stand tall, take your thighs back, and now just tilt the head to the right as you gently pull down on the left arm. Come back up. Let's do that again, over to the right, and back up. Over to the right, and up, and one more time, and hold, and release. Take your left hand, bring it around, take hold of your right upper arm, and take the ear to the left, and up, and left, and up, and left, and up. And one more time, just hold it there. And release. Roll your shoulders out. And now grab your weights. So I've got 4-pounders today. That's a nice, easy amount to use, whatever feels good to you. See that your feet are slightly wider and forward, not turned out or in, and soften your knees, just a tone, yeah, there you go, and just draw the tailbone down. It's not a tuck, but the tailbone draws down. Bring your elbows right into your hip or your waist, and we're simply going to do bicep curls up and down, and up, go slow, and down, and 3, down, 4, down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, down, and 8, down. Turn them down, pull them up, and down. 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and now bring them up into cactus pose, elbows equal with your shoulders. Bring them in and out, and in and out, and 3, out, 4, out, 5, out, 6, out, 7, and 8. Bring them down in front, side by side, and lift the elbows up and down. 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, and bring both of them over your head. Bring the elbows directly over your shoulders. Now watch those hips. Did they go forward? Pull them back and then drop it down and up. 2, up, 3, up, 4, up, 5, up, 6, up, 7, up, and 8, and up. Bring the weights down, put them on the floor, and come back to your mat. And just do a gentle transfer of weight from one foot to the other. And pause, and pause. Feel yourself come onto that leg, and feel yourself come onto the other leg. And then bring the legs closer together and open up the hands. Bring the right arm underneath for eagle arms and begin to do funky chicken. As you wave all the way down and wave all the way back up. Lift the elbows and then draw them down. Sit into your chair. Sue, extend your fingers. Yes. Lift your right heel up and step it over. If you can, lift the foot up. Exhale and release. Here we go. Hands out. Left arm underneath, wrap it around. Lift up. Draw the elbows down. Funky chicken once again. Come back up, draw the elbows down, lift the heel, and step the leg over. Sit more deeply, it does help. And then see if you can lift the toe. Inhale and release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. So let's turn and face to the left. And we're going to put our blocks on the long side. And Mags, if you want to turn the other way, you can do so. Lydia, same with you. If you want to face the other direction, that works as well. And we're going to take our weights. Take our feet nice and wide and put our weights in front of our feet. And so for this particular move, you can actually turn your toes out a little bit. And we're gonna bend into one knee and pick the weight up and bring it to our waist. Bend over, pick the other weight up, and then replace, and up, and replace, and up. And pick it up, and come to standing, and pick up, come to center, replace, come to center, and replace, come to center. And reach over, and pick it up, and reach over, pick it up, and replace, and come up, and replace, and come up. Now turn the heels out, hands on your hips, you okay? And roll your shoulders on your back. Lift your toes, but really root the mounds or the balls of your feet and heels. Lift and lengthen as you hinge forward. You should be able to bring your hands down. If not, take your legs wider. Now, make sure the mound of the big toe and little toe are rooted and the center of the heel. Then try to pull your legs together isometrically. Feel a lift up through the core. Now, as you exhale, let your head come towards the floor. Take the hands wider, turn the elbows more outward and forward. Inhale, come to tabletop. Bring your hands to your hips, roll your shoulders on your back, and come on up. Now I'm gonna move my weights off of my mat because I don't want to fall over them. And I'm gonna step my legs together for a second and just move my hips around.
We could do that.
Yes. And then step apart again. So we're gonna go towards that direction. So we're gonna rock onto that heel, turn the toes, and come into a warrior two. Now you may need to actually go longer in your stance. Take your hands out into a warrior two. Now bring that front arm underneath for eagle arms again. Lift up with your elbows. Exhale, pull the elbows down. Now the hands are gonna go towards that front corner as we come into a humble warrior and bow. Inhale and come back up. Open up the arms and turn the foot. Let's go to the other side. When we come into this warrior two, make sure the heel intersects the back arch. Bend into that knee. Bring that arm from the bent leg side around, eagle arms. Turn a little bit more towards that corner of your mat and bow. Inhale and come back up. Open up the arms, turn the feet. We're gonna go back to this first side and come into our warrior two. Straighten the legs and bring the hands up, star pose. Exhale and warrior two. Inhale, star pose. Exhale and warrior two. Now drop the back hand and lift the front hand and come into your warrior four. Straighten the front leg, reach out and down into triangle. Now I recommend grab your block, put it on the outside, put your hand on the block. Now lift and lengthen through the spine and rotate your top shoulder and ribs so they're stacked on top of the bottom shoulder and ribs. Now take your hand straight up and then take it over your ear. As you reach the hands forward, root into that back edge of that back foot. Do you feel the line in your rib cage? Good. Top hand comes to your hip. You're gonna turn your heart towards the mat. You're gonna bunny hop forward. Move that block out for a half moon. As you lift that leg and come into half moon. Take your hand up. Yeah. Now bend the knee and lower back into warrior two and come on up. And then turn the heels. We're gonna go toward that opposite side. Come into your warrior two, turn the palms up, lift up star pose. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, warrior two. Turn the hand up, lift up, warrior four. Straighten the front leg, reach out and down, grab your block, put it underneath your shoulder. Now rotate your spine so it faces that side wall. Then take the hand up. There you go. Take the hand over the ear. As you reach the fingers forward, root into that back edge of that back foot more. Then take your hand to your hip, move your gaze towards the floor, move your block forward, and come up into half moon. Hand comes to the hip, bending the knee, controlling coming down, and then coming up into your warrior two, and turning the feet and stepping together. Good job. We're coming down. Grab your blocks. So anchor your left hand down so that the arm is against the inside and the feet are nice and wide. Take them wider, that's it. And before you do anything, lift up and lengthen through that spine. Anchor that left hand down as you reach with your right hand towards the back right corner. Look at that right thumb with your left eye. Lift up even more through the spine, tone your belly, and release. Anchor this right hand down, lift up and lengthen, reach towards that back left corner, look at that left thumb with your right eye, and then come back to center. Now bring the band out in front, and I've got some tension on it, but not real strong. It's looped over my thumbs. And I'm simply going to pull it apart and back, and apart and back. And I'm using those big muscles on my back as opposed to those arms. Yes. And drawing the shoulder blades in towards the spine. One more. And then we're going to flip it around and go behind. So place that band right at the base of your shoulder blades, palms turned up, and again, you're gonna reach out and back, and 2 and back, and 3 and back, 4 and 5 and 6. Give yourself a little more tension, Mags. And 7. No, go closer. Yeah, now put. Yeah, and 8. We're gonna do a couple more for Mags. 9 and 10. And hold it out there. Really sit up nice and tall and release. Good job. Get rid of the blocks and come on down. Now, if you need to sit up on a blanket, if you feel that when you sit on the floor, the only way you can sit is that your spine is curled back here in the lumbar, then sit on a blanket. And then just kind of come a little forward. Bring the legs out in front. So I'm kind of on the edge of the blanket. I'm not, yeah. It's almost like it's tractioning my hamstrings a little bit. Okay, and roll the flesh inwards and sit up nice and tall. Do you feel how the floor of your pelvis is parallel to the mat? And then you're lifting up. Now, without using your hands, draw your right knee in and give it a hug. And then extend it back out. And then draw the left knee in and give it a hug. And extend it back out. And right and hug. And out. And left and hug. And out. One more. Right, up and out. Left, up and out. Now lean back a little bit and bring the soles of your feet together and walk your hands in. So again, you're going to be right on the edge of that blanket and draw the toes back. Firmly push the soles of the feet. And yes, you can do some flapping. So Mags, lift up more. You're curled. You're in, yeah. Yeah. Now lean to your left and put your right hand on the center of your thigh, not on the knee. And then push down and up, down, up, down, up, down and up. And we'll go to the other side. Hand to the center and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and up. Now we're going to extend that right leg out, and I need to grab my belt. Can you grab your belt? We need one of those sushi
Conveyor belt.
Belts, yes.
Yes.
And so it goes by. All right, so we've got the left leg bent and the right leg straight. Pick the your left ankle up and place it on your right thigh. And then go ahead and belt your right foot right around the base of the ball of the foot. And then sit up nice and tall. It's easy to be back here. Do you see how I'm concave? Yeah, and just to tone that belly and lift up. Pull that foot back like we're riding in a carriage and controlling that horse, so to speak, and lift up. Now we're gonna hinge forward, not the chin. In fact, if anything, pull the chin in like a turtle and walk your hands a little more forward. Pause here, lift and lengthen, and then hinge. Now my elbows might rest on my ankle and my shin. I'm going to lift up one more time, walk my hands towards the foot, lift and lengthen, and then hinge again. I don't need to go very far to feel this in my hamstring. Inhale and release. We're going to do the other side. Pull this in, let it come to the side, and pick it up and put it on top of the left foot as we take our belt and belt the left foot. Again, sitting up nice and tall, pulling that foot back, and then begin to hinge forward. Think about the crown of your head over the floor of your pelvis as you hinge, and that spine stays vertical, and then you hinge again. Maybe walk the hands down one more time. Pull back, lift and lengthen, and hinge again. And just hold it here for a moment and get a nice stretch in your hamstring. Inhale and release. We're going to take and put both feet out in front. Bring our belt. Now I'm going to give this belt like I'm pulling it or pushing it apart with the edges of my feet and lifting up. And again, I'm going to hinge forward. As I hinge forward, draw your inner thighs down, draw your outer hips back, and then move your hands down the belt. Pause for a moment, lift and lengthen, exhale and hinge again. Now lengthen through the back of the neck so that you're pointing the crown of your head more towards the top of your mat. Draw those inner thighs down. Draw the outer hips back. Hinge one more time forward. Inhale and release. Draw your right knee in and sit up, and then put the foot over the outside. Now you can keep your left leg straight, or you can bring your left foot back by your hip. It doesn't matter what feels good to you and your legs and knees. So take your left arm and wrap it around that right knee. Take the right hand behind, but lift up and lengthen first. Hold that knee in, and then begin to rotate from the left ribs all the way around to the right as you look over that right shoulder with your left eye. And then inhale and come back to center. You're going to lean back and bring your legs into fire logs. Now, if this knee is way up here, yes, I have a solution. You're going to take a block, and I just grabbed this one because it was the closest, but you may want your cork block instead, and put it in front of your left knee and put your foot on the block. There you go, Sue. That's it. That's it. That's the modification for fire logs. But the legs are not tight. No, I actually want you to move the feet forward. You should be able to look down here and see a triangle. Pulling them in too tight actually tightens this muscle right here. So you're negating this whole thing. Because these guys are tight and they're going, no, I'm not gonna let you, right? And then sit up nice and tall. There you go. And we'll start to work forward. Again, keeping that back nice and straight, prong your fingers. Now flex your ankles and push your feet as if you were pushing those side walls out. When you do that, I know, yes, push the feet, push the feet. You should feel a stretch back here in your low back as you push the feet more. Inhale and release. Undo, legs out in front. Draw the left knee in, cross it over. If you want to bring the right foot up, you may do so, or keep the legs straight. You're gonna wrap your hand around that left knee, lift and lengthen. Now initiate your twist from the right ribs to the left. Look over that left shoulder with your right eye. And then inhale and come back to center. Lean back, come into your fire logs. And again, if this left knee is hijacked, you can put the block in front of the right knee, Colin, in front of it. Yeah. And then again, you want to look down and see a triangle here, a nice triangle. And here we go, lifting up and lengthening and then hinging forward. As you flex your ankles, flex the ball of the foot, spread the toes, and as you push the feet apart isometrically, you might feel this in what we call the upper glute or glute med. Maybe even the glute min. Tell me you feel this. Yes. Fire logs should be done every day. Yes. And inhale and come back up. Put everything to the side. You are coming down to your mat on your backs. I'm gonna go ahead and get the lights. And you can start in Happy Baby by drawing your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. And rock side to side. Come back to neutral. Put your feet on the floor and take your hands out to the side in T formation. Now step into your feet and lift your hips and move them to the right edge of your mat, all the way over. Then lift the knees up and let them fall to the left, to the left. There you go. Stack your knees on top. Now, move your left shoulder to the left. Just kind of crab walk it over. And notice how that changes the lumbar spine. Then bring your left hand to the outside edge of your right leg. And just hold it there for a moment. On your next inhale, start to lengthen from your tailbone all the way up your spine, making space between each and every vertebrae. And then on an exhale, turn your head back and look at your right hand for a full twist. This is very good for stimulating your organs and your mobility. Take a few more breaths here. And then inhale and come back to center. Knees will come back up and shift your hips to the center of your mat and just pause for a moment and notice the difference. And then step into your feet, lift the hips and move them to the left side, and then let the knees fall to the right. And then move that right shoulder to the right. Take that right hand and put it on top of the left thigh. And just bring your awareness back to your breath as you softly inhale and gently exhale. And then inhale and come back to center. Bring the knees up and slide the legs out. Lift your fingers to the ceiling. Draw your shoulders down and take your hands over your head for a nice supine Tadasana stretch. And then gently release and bring the hands around by your sides. Not too close and not too far away. Maybe lift your heart a little bit, tuck those shoulder blades under, and then settle in. Let the feet fall away from midline. And feel the back of your heels, the back of your calves, the back of your hips, the back of your shoulders, the back of your arms and the back of your head, all resting upon the mat. Then bring your awareness to your face as you soften the skin on your forehead and all around your eyes, nose and mouth. Release any tension in your jaw. Let your teeth part and your tongue rest. As you turn your eyes more deeply down into their sockets, and then move them even deeper into your heart. Ride the wave of your breath. Savasana. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Bring life back into your toes and your fingers, your feet and your hands, your legs and your arms. And lift your hands and arms up over your head and take a nice long stretch. Then slowly draw everything in towards your heart and roll to your right or left side and stay there for a moment close to the earth and really savor the sensations in your body from the practice. And then slowly push your hands into the earth as you curl your heart and come up and around to a seated position. Bring the soles of your palms together. So let this new moon in Leo remind us that your presence is powerful and that your voice matters, and most of all, that your light is needed. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. The light within me bows to the light within each of you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Good job, everybody.
Thank you. Happy weekend.
Yes.